Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an efficiency settlement build of Abernathy Farm, my least favorite settlement in the entire game, but I'll get to that in a minute. What I want to quickly do is I want to show you a before and after. So as I typically do during my playthroughs is I'll just get a bunch of stuff thrown down. I started scrapping already. This had a bunch of crops in it, and I had a bunch of stores here, which were unlevel and they were quite a nuisance, but I just threw a bunch of stuff down here, and I've got this sort of half jerry-rigged generator station over there that I tried to shield from raiders, and then there's just way too many crops over here. I've got line after line of mute fruit tree and potato plants, and then I have all of the beds in the entire, for all of my settlers, crammed into this shack that came with the settlement. And as you can see, it's just a complete mess. I'm not making good use of the space. I have these scrap stations just strewn about over here, and I actually want to stop doing scrapping. And then the settlement is huge. Look at all this space I'm not utilizing. Plus, I now have a mod that tells me the spawn points. If you don't have a mod that tells you the spawn points for enemies, just try to find guns that they leave behind when they attack you. Guns littered the ground. But the mod that I have, which I link to in the description, marks all places for spawn points. And so I have an opportunity to actually craft defenses that address specific areas. So this was just a quick before and after. Let me just give you an overview of the entire settlement. This is what it looks like before. Unutilized space over there, way too many crops, far more than necessary. Two different farms, that one right there and that one right there, instead of one farm. Water purification pumps just littered the area, and this really haphazard generator spot. So I'm going to sit down for the next couple of hours, or however long it takes, and work on it, and hopefully I'll have something nice to show you in just a minute. Here's an odd artifact. I used the the settler management terminal to unassign all of my settlers before I began work, and this is what they chose to do. They chose to line themselves up in a perfect line and congregate over here.
Yes, you should
This
have
is-
seen it. We cut
This
the
is one of the reasons why I
doubt they'll be
want to
back.
work on this settlement, because this house is too small
Raiders
for
thought we were easy
30 to
pickings.
36 settlers. Oh
We
my
showed them
gosh.
different.
Since I'm already recording, let me show you what I've done with the farm. So as you can see, I removed all of the crops, and I put them all in this farm back here. And as you can see, I lined them all up really well. And it just so happened that this little square happened to have just enough room for 72 carrots, which is exactly what I needed for my settlement. Now, I repaired this fence, and I did have to use console commands to get it to work just right, because this is built on a slight slope. This part of the land is taller than this part of the land. And if you, and you can kind of see it right here, you see how this is taller than that? If you just build in a straight line, you've basically got this hovering bridge. And so what I'm going to do actually is select it and push it down a little bit. So that looks a little bit better, and that's a little lopsided, that's fine. But it's way, way, way better. And then as you can see, this part of the incline is much higher, so I had to use console commands all around here. And then, to make matters worse, they didn't match up in a complete perfect square. So I had to install a chicken wire fence here that was longer than the gap that was necessary, because that's sadly all that Bethesda gave us. And then I had to tilt it towards this post, because it wouldn't have matched up otherwise. But if I hadn't pointed it out, no one would be able to notice, so I'm going to call this a success. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that took far longer than I thought it was going to take me. There goes my Sunday afternoon. But anyway, I've completed Abernathy Farm, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've done. So I've discovered that there's an invisible trail that goes right along here where provisioners walk. As I've been here for the past several hours working on the settlement, I've seen scores of provisioners from all my different settlements make this path right there. So they come in from the north, from Sanctuary, and they come down here, they go under this light, and then they go towards the sign. So I kept this path clear of all of my buildings, and I put the Abernathy Farm sign right there. I put a cooking station here under a fire, And I recently downloaded a mod. Here, let's see if I can. I recently downloaded a mod that allows you to place idle animations. Oh, and I don't have it here. Here, I do by here. So you can place idle animations anywhere you want, and they're invisible. But what happens is if a settler happens to walk over it, they'll perform that idle animation. So for example, on this fire pit, I've got hand warming while kneeling, hand warming while standing, and that's what they do. So what I did is I wanted to get all of the settlers out of the main house, and so I built 4 different shacks, 2 up there and 2 down here. These are small shacks here with a nice coffee station, and incidentally I put a coffee drinking animation right next to that so that they drink coffee. I've got my feeding trough back here, but it's not working, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Here's my next one, my next shack with a coffee drinking animation. I'll get to this in a second. And then I've got 2 more shacks that are up the hill a ways, right here. And you can see the settlers are just waking up and heading off to work. Coffee drinking station, small metal shack, larger wooden shack. Now, alright, I need to explain this. So, on top of this concrete structure, I have my generator room. This is my... I've got all of my engines inside this building with all of my windmills on top of it, connecting to this recruitment beacon, which then feeds electricity throughout the rest of the settlement. This, however, is a trap, and it works. I actually, just a little bit ago, my settlement was attacked, and I caught it on camera, so I'm going to show you at the end of this video what took place. But let me briefly show you what happens here. So you see that blue marker on the inside there? That is where enemies spawn. And I discovered this using a mod that I've talked about in some of my other videos, but it's called Settlement Management Mod, and I don't know where I put my terminal, but anyway, what happens is you can place a terminal somewhere in the game, and using the terminal, you can mark on your map with little map icons like these, where all of the spawn points are in the game. So as you can see, I was recently attacked. There's a body, there's a pile of stuff. I was attacked by gunners, and using that, I was able to discover the exact pinpoint location of a spawn point within the actual settlement. So typically in my builds, I'll build these missile turret towers and machine gun towers like this. And these work great. They tend to repel the enemies very well. I have them on the outskirts of the settlement so that they always face outward, which means that they don't do area of effect damage to my shops or any other resources, so I'd never have to repair them. But in this case, I've got this spawn location in the Abernathy farm settlement itself, so I really can't build anything around here for risk of it all getting broken whenever I'm attacked. So instead what I did is I placed a trap right on top of it, and I'll show you how it works. Now, the trap is deactivated because I was recently attacked, so not everything is going to work. But these do. So the ground is comprised completely of spike traps. And that's how they work. There's one exit, and this is it, and there's a laser tripwire right there, and it's attached to a Tesla arc. As you can see, it's already been expended. So once they walk through, they hit the Tesla arc, then there's another tripwire, they hit that, they get blasted with the flamethrower, they get blasted with another Tesla arc, and they get blasted with 2 radiation traps. Then they get blasted with another flamethrower, and then as they try to walk out, oh, they're stabbed with the spring trap. And that has been very effective. As you can see, I've got 2 dead bodies right there. Then on the outside periphery, I've got these turrets, just to make sure that none of them escape. Shotgun turrets, 1 laser turret, and heavy machine. So there you go. Now, I tried to be clever and use my neon signs to say, go to jail, collect death. But for some reason, whenever I would install a pylon nearby so that the lights would turn on, it would trigger all my traps. And I still don't know why that worked. So I've got the T lit up and collect, and that's it. Incidentally, when my traps go off, it turns on all the lights. So maybe I'll just say that that's a feature. I'll just say that that's a feature. Apologies, by the way, my throat is scratchy. I'm getting over a sickness that my babies gave me. Okay, moving on up, we have Clarabelle. Clarabelle is a named Brahmin that comes with Abernathy Farms, and she's infuriating. I had to use console commands to make her commandable so that I could move her, because she sits right here. Now, there used to be a trough here, and she was fenced in, but I needed to move all that, obviously, to build my... oh, see, here's the provisioner going down this path I was telling you about. I had to move the fences in the trough to make room for this marketplace, but she won't move. It's annoying because I have a trough all the way down here, filled with food, and there's a link to the mod that I used to fill the trough with food. And I can tell her to go to it, but I can't assign her to it. She doesn't stay assigned. See? Bye, Jake Finch. Go back to Finch Farms. And he goes right underneath my sign. Right on his way out. So I've just got Clarabelle sitting over there. And now I've got my marketplace. I decided to use this farmland over here to create probably one of the most efficient marketplaces I've made yet. Let's get a larger look at it. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15 shops in this square plot. And I did it by using a different strategy. Instead of going around the outside like I typically do, I made columns. In the middle there, you've got 2 rows, and the merchants have their backs facing each other so that they serve the customers facing outward. And then I've got all the bars located on that end, and a few more other shops out there. Now the reason I have my bars all located on this end is because in the early morning and then late after the workday, all of the settlers will come over here and chill out. They'll hang out by the bars. So I've got a smoking station with some smoking animations. I've got 3 different bars with stools and some drinking animations. I've got an animation for fiddling with the radio. Radio listen right there, right in front of the radio. I've got lots of seating, back-to-back seating, and lots of light. So these lamp posts are new with the Wasteland Workshop, the new DLC that Bethesda came out with, and they also work as power pylons. So instead of just creating power pylons, I now try to use these lamps whenever possible because it illuminates my settlement nicely. Now this area right here tends to be an area where traveling caravans and merchants will hang out if I don't have a trading post installed. But I do have a trading post installed. But I set down a campfire, a burning campfire from Wasteland Workshop, just so that it would look better instead of just being a burned out fireplace. And then I've got my caravan station over here by this other trade section. So caravans can come here and hang out. And let me go around the corner here and show you this first. So these are tanks of some sort that came with the settlement. I'm assuming they're water tanks. I suppose they could be fuel tanks. But I decided to make this my area for my water pumps. I'm using the water pumps that came with the Wasteland Workshop. And then to get 36 water, I've got just a couple more water pumps. And it's powered by this. I turned this into a smoking station because I find that unassigned settlers tend to go over to this tank and lean against it. They just idle there. So I put an ashtray there and some smoking stations. This cat comes with the settlement. You can't select it, you can't kill it, so it's there. And the annoying thing is that it's got collision, so you can't walk over it.
Gave you my answer, little miss. Now go, hunt for mice or something.
Oh, I didn't know the settlers actually talked to the cat. Oh. I've got a seating area here with all of the life's necessities, a big booze table with some pint glasses and shot glasses and a variety of liquors. There you go. Juice up, lady. Oh yeah, drink it. Okay, and then we've got a nice smoking station over here with a cigarette machine. Now, on the inside, I wanted to leave the character of Abernathy Farms. One of the things that frustrated me is they have this nice shack here, and when I created the settlement earlier, all of my settlers would hang out on the inside. And, you know, this is the Abernathy's shack. It needs to be theirs. So I only left 3 beds here. And I made sure that they were each assigned to Lucy, Colleen, or whatever her name is, and Jake, the Abernathy family. So this is their house. I left a lot of the decorations on the inside so that unassigned settlers can walk around and hang out. I wanted to get rid of that. These are left over from an experiment I did. I was trying to figure out whether or not just randomly putting paintings and carpets on the floor would increase your settlement happiness. And for the record, it doesn't. And then I learned. Oh man, they're just everywhere. Alright, so going on up, this was such a small shack that I was forced to put sleeping bags up here, and it just got really ugly. And I also had all of my missile turrets up here. Here's a remnant left over from powering them. And it was just horrible, so I thankfully moved everything off, so now there's nothing up there. Alright, moving around the corner. I've got a lounging dinner station. I've got these 2 umbrella tables set up here with seating, and the unassigned settlers tend to hang out and eat their meals. Lots of food set out on the table, drinks, cups. It's ready for dinner. More chairs for sitting. They love to sit. And then here's my farm. I talked about that earlier, so there you go. I assigned all my settlers, and they're working hard. I'll show you one more thing. So if you've played the game and you've done the quest that allows you access to this settlement, you know that Jake Abernathy's daughter, Mary, was killed by raiders. Part of the quest was to go to where the raiders were and recover a necklace that had been hers. And I found this grave over here, and you can't actually build on top of it. The only thing you have access to is this itty-bitty corner which peeks into your settlement workshop area. And I wanted to decorate it. So what I did is I placed all my decorations right in this corner and used a mod to decorate her gravesite. Because I've often felt that Jake, her father, kind of mentions her death in sort of a cavalier way. It just sort of comes up in the course of conversation, and he doesn't really seem all that upset about it. But it happened recently. You can see wet footprints in the mud from when he just recently buried her. And, you know, all this was, when I found it, these flowers right there were laid on top of it, and there was this cross. Using my mod and using the Wasteland Workshop, I put her name on it, and I put her age, the age of 21. And I put some flowers there and some candles, and then a teddy bear, because, you know, she was born and raised in this shack, and her family knew her as a little girl, so that probably meant something to them. And there's the actual locket that I managed to salvage, that I saved from the raiders. The raiders killed her, stole the locket. I went and killed the raiders, got the locket back, and gave it back to their parents. And then I'll just pretend like they put it here on top of her grave. So that's Mary Abernathy's grave. I managed to decorate it, even though it's not actually part of this settlement. Alright, so let's do the whole bird's eye view. So this is also one of this settlement has the highest build height of any other settlement, and many people who use Abernathy farms will use it to make a huge structure all the way to the top of this tower here. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to maintain the look and feel of a farm, and I wanted to make it useful, and I wanted to utilize all of this space. It's a huge, huge settlement, but it's in this rectangular shape. And previously, none of this space, I didn't use any of this space. Everything was crammed over there. So I spread everything out. The settlers are now housed in 4 different shacks away from the Abernathy family. I've got my generator, I've got my traps, I've got it all. So this is what I put together. I would love to hear your comments, and if I inspired you in any way, or if you've got your own setup that you'd like to share, feel free to link. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how my traps fared when I was attacked. Ah, there it was, ladies and gentlemen. Oh!
This time.
And all my settlers decided to show up for the party. Well, that worked amazingly well. Look at this. Look, it's just utter carnage. Now, the only drawback to this is, ow, is that I'm gonna have to repair this with each use. And I'm learning a lot about this. Like, these are still stuck. Are they broken? No? Can't repair them. Well. Yep, I gotta repair that again. Whoa, it's going off again? Oh, because it detects... man. Alright, well, this is a little more complicated than I originally thought it was going to be. Yeah, but it works. It works. And let's check out the other defense points that I have. So, we saw some come from over here. I see guns. And look at this. Bodies. Alright, how about the other side? Guns everywhere. Oh, that was nice. Yep, oh wow. Worked really well. Thank you, missile turrets. Did I lose any missile turrets during the defense? I don't think so. Nope, and we're looking good. Alright, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I managed to start recording just as that was going on. I fast traveled into town. Something. I don't understand what the neon light is doing. I managed to fast travel into town just as I was being attacked, even though I got absolutely no message or warning anywhere. So that's just the way Abernathy Farm is for me. It just gets attacked all the time and time again. But with this new system in place, I think I will reduce the number of attacks that I get and mitigate all and future damage. So there you go. That's my Abernathy Farm as an efficiency build. Thanks very much for watching.